You're listening to the Microsoft Innovation Podcast, where we explore the intersection of people, business, and technology. This year, we're adding a new show to our lineup, The AI Advantage, to help you learn the skills you need to thrive in the AI era.
Welcome to the Ecosystem Show. We're thrilled to have you with us. Here we challenge traditional mindsets and explore innovative approaches to maximizing the value of your software estate. We don't expect you to agree with everything. Challenge us, share your thoughts, and let's grow together. Now, let's dive in. It's showtime. Welcome back, everybody, for another session of the Ecosystem Show. There's three of us today, Chris,
Yay.
Anna, and myself. Welcome, everybody.
What's up?
Hello.
It's been a while since we've done a show, I feel.
It's been a while.
It does feel like it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Maybe
And I
because we're
feel
so
it's-
tired. Like, look at my face. I feel so tired.
You've been traveling. I've been traveling. I've just come back from
you're-
Australia.
You're a
Yeah.
vision, Anna.
Well, there's a lot to discuss because a lot is changing in the AI world, particularly we're finding across our landscape. I think tonight, why don't we have a chat about the salary report? I think, Chris, that you highlighted recently around, what the AI space is looking at. Number two would be good to discuss would be red teaming. I feel red teaming is a growing category that we should be focusing on. The other
Absolutely.
area that's caught my attention lately is there's been a prediction that within 2 years, LLMs, large language models as we know today, will be history and will have been replaced with what are called world models. And Google announced this at the end of their session, moving to a world model. And the world model, the difference, let me just summarize slightly, is that a language model is all based on language and therefore generally English, right? But it's a language-based model. A world model is based on all 5 senses that we have, plus potential future senses that we don't have. In other words, spatial awareness is part of the language model. So what we see, what we hear, what we touch, what we taste, what we smell could all be part of a world model. So it's basically how do we, integrate into the world around us is the future modeling coming out. And also much closer aligned to the way our brains work, in that our brains don't have infinite memory. It has an ability to focus on the things that are top of mind right now. We have, of course, our subconscious, which is long-term memory, but it's still a lot of the decisions we make is not necessarily touchable to something under that type of model. One of the weird things about LLMs right now is that because they know all knowledge, no human does that. And so therefore you can, I don't know, I'm just finding lately that I can read a lot of content and can tell pretty quickly that it's been generated by an LLM.
Oh, same.
And what concerns me is not like, yes, I expect people to be assisted, with AI nowadays, but it's kind of like they're giving up on actually proofreading or going, actually, does that make sense? Like, would I say that?
Exactly. Andrew and I put our house up on the market, the London house, because we love it in Spain.
Yeah.
And when the agent came to the house to talk to me about their organization, he sold to me all of this technology, which obviously I immediately bought. I was like, yeah, that's the way to go. And he told me about this software that they have bought to match, prospective customers with the property that we've got and their needs, and statistics and social media, even all of the public stuff and so on and so forth. And then they created a brochure, and that brochure was shocking. They left out important bits of information, but then they put up, I don't know, the fact that we have aluminum plugs. Who cares about that?
Mm-hmm.
In a brochure. Or they put 3 pictures of our bathrooms, but 0 pictures of our terraces.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening? So I think you're absolutely right. Because when you started talking and you were like, when I read a large piece of information or a big text, I thought that what you were about to say was I find that I immediately can understand it and like go into the essence and stuff like that. I find it, and then you went on to say something else, right? But when you started like that, I was like, oh my God, I feel the exact opposite, because so much of the text out there is outputted by LLMs and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it like confuses my brain, just makes me want to take a nap.
Yeah. I do find it, I feel that what I have learned is better grammar, better English from AI, definitely. But then the way that it's better is also one of the tells. Like, there's kind of three things that are giveaway on AI right now. And I'm not talking about the phrases, because there's a heap of phrases. But the three giveaways is the EM dash. Now, the EM dash in English is actually really important. It's underutilized because it's never been on the keyboard, right? It's not a key that you can tap on the keyboard. But it is great for shortening what would potentially be longer sentences, but still get the concept across. The next one is the Oxford comma, which it's something I've always used because I'm bad at commas, so I overuse them rather than underuse them, because my natural inclination would be to underuse them. And then the third one, of course, is emojis in the text. And for ages, there was a period of time that I thought emojis did help with readability. Now I feel it's a blocker to people. People like going, that's AI. That's like AI generated. Why would I read it type thing? And I think, it's going to change in time. What do you thought, Chris?
Yeah, dude. So I struggle with AI generated content because I feel like it's very samey.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to make a terrible reference here. I haven't read the book, but I'm going to make a bad reference. So somebody said to me recently that AI was a bit like reading 50 Shades of Grey. And I was like, oh, okay, why? Like, what does it mean? It's like, well, the grammar is good, but it's terribly written. And I was like, actually, that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, I understand why they would say that, because the grammar is good. Like, it is good, but the actual verbiage, the things that it says, it's like very samey. I feel like every person that makes an AI generated post without reviewing and putting their own personality into it is very samey. So I don't get that like personality from the person, and that sucks, right? Like, I don't think that's why I would want to go into a social media platform or read a book that was generated by AI, because I don't care. Like, it's very samey, it's very boring.
Yeah.
Like, let's use Andrew as an example. Actually, Andrew's a good example here. So Andrew is a very good writer. Like, he's very articulate, and when I read Andrew's work, I can hear Andrew. Okay.
Yes.
Like, when I read Anna's work, I can hear Anna. When I read social media that is generated by an AI bot, I feel very like void of any sort of response. And that's why I think it's a problem. It doesn't drive any sort of emotion in a person.
Yeah. Now, one of the other interesting announcements that happened last week was Grok 4 came out.
Mecha Hitler.
And it has mounted all the kind of assessments against everything in the space about how good it is. But one of the problems with this is that what these LLM companies are doing are kind of priming the AI for the assessment. They know what the assessment is, right?
Yeah.
So it's ranking higher because it's kind of like we've given you, I'm not saying we've given the answers, but you're leading the witness almost in how this has been done. So it's becoming a bit of a But what I did notice is that the US government awarded a massive contract to Grok for the Defense Department.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Very interesting. And of course, right around the corner, OpenAI is about to release ChatGPT 5.0, which will be, they're saying is going to be a quantum leap ahead.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting part of the year right now in what is going on and what is changing. Chris, earlier this week you sent to us salary survey of what's going on in the AI space, and it's the first thing I've seen around salaries really in this space. Can you share some stuff there?
This was really interesting, right? So 10th Revolution Group are probably one of the most large, I wouldn't call them a recruitment company. They're bigger than that, right? But they are, they're, how do I frame this? They're very good at driving relationships with people and customers and things like that. And something I learned very quickly was that they do these salary surveys. Now, I've been part of the salary survey with them for years, right? Like I've done this a lot of times. Okay. This is the first time I've been featured in a forward, which I was like, wow, okay, cool, that's pretty cool. So I had a call with them, and the first thing I did was we had a call with about 400 of their people on the call, and we were talking AI and like what it means for the wider job market and everything. They, off the cuff of that, went and did a whole ton of research, okay, like a whole bunch of research, and they came back with their salary survey, which we can share the link in the chat, right? Now, what's interesting about this crowd is that I think a lot of people think that they are just recruiters, but they really aren't. They do a lot of like matching between partners and customers, and it's way bigger than you would think, right? And they by far have the largest lens into the corporate market that I've ever seen. And when I say that, I mean they have like thousands of people talking to thousands of other people. So it's a bit like a neural network. Anyway, so they released this, and I was like, okay, cool. So I stuck in the Cloud Lighthouse messaging, and I was like, yep, embedded AI, extensible AI, differential AI, blah, blah, blah. And then I read the rest of the survey that talks about what people are getting paid to do these jobs. Okay. So are you all ready for this? Right? I'm going to do a screen share if that's cool.
Yeah, do a screen share.
Because this blew my mind. Okay. So this is the salary survey. Okay. So it's got your usual, like blah, 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 people talking about stuff, facts. Then you get into the nuts and bolts, man. This is real interesting. So let's take a look at the UK. So I like how they break it down. So they break it down into medians, right? So you've got a lower quartile, a median, and the upper quartile. Okay. So here, let's pick chief data officer. So chief data officer in the UK is getting paid at the upper quartile around 200K a year. Okay. Chief AI officer is getting paid 235K a year. Let's take a data scientist, right? So data scientist is getting paid in the upper quartile of 84K a year.
Wow.
This is a new job called a prompt engineer, and a prompt engineer is getting paid 115K a year. That is 20 grand more than a data scientist is getting paid to speak
Amazing.
English to an LLM. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
My favorite is the AI ethicist. So an AI ethicist is getting paid around 107K a year.
What's that?
That's So remember when they started out, it was called ethical AI, not trustworthy computing.
Yep.
So that was around 2018, right? So an AI ethicist is somebody who understands the core qualities of what an AI model does and does not promote things like anthropomorphization and that type of stuff. So this is really interesting. So I was like, okay, cool. Now let me tell you why I think this is interesting. When you take a look at the Power Platform, and I'm going to use Power Platform here on purpose, right? When you take a look at the Power Platform salary guide, a Power Platform architect, right? That's an AI architect. A Power Platform architect gets paid around 110K a year on the upper quartile. Okay.
We're talking pounds, right? Yeah.
Pounds.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a Power Platform architect and an AI architect? Okay, so I was like, what? I'll buy it. Let's figure this out. So I went through the process of trying to understand, and it turns out that because Power Platform is the kind of core provider for extensible AI inside of the Microsoft framework, you have a lot of like core qualities that make you an AI architect. So you can use those qualities to learn things like Foundry, extend your Python coding skills and your C# coding skills and blah, blah, blah. But that is like a 30 to 40 grand leap on your salary.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Also, look at the difference between the UK and the US.
Oh yeah, we cannot look at that difference. Like that, I don't know, the salaries are really, really different from the US to the UK.
Are they a lot lower in the UK? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
A lot lower. And in fact, looking at Europe in general, not even comparing to the US, UK salaries are plateaued. Like, I don't know, they are definitely comparable to salaries in Romania.
Wow. Are you
Yes.
serious? That's
I am.
incredible.
England pay awfully badly.
I'm serious, yeah. Because and that's like a ripe market. I got back into The Economist this week because I finished Ezra Klein's book Abundance. Really, really good. I recommend it. And in The Economist last week, I think, they were talking about how the US is moving their offshore workforce from India to the UK because the price difference isn't significant enough. And, obviously you go to the UK and you get people who speak native English and they have like an accent that Americans think, makes you a clever person and all of these other advantages, right? So they go with their work there instead. Like the political landscape and everything else kind of goes into this. But also the way firms in the UK, unfortunately, are still doing business, and the fact that they're still like not investing in those prompt engineers, to get enough value out of them, unfortunately. And Chris, you say that about an AI engineer and how a Power Platform architect can easily be an AI architect because they have all of the tools. But at the same time, it does take away a lot of the work that they were normally doing. Like a lot of the Power Platform architects out there do focus on Power Platform alone. They know specific things. So moving them away and into AI architecture is not as easy as it seems. Like I would hate to create a second wave of the citizen architect this time. It's just not a thing.
We don't want that. We need technical architects.
Exactly.
We don't need citizen architects.
I was watching I find this interesting about the UK market. One thing I'll add, when Meg moved to the UK in Google, right? She was in Google Australia, moved to Google UK. She took a massive pay cut going to the UK.
Yeah.
And the reason is there's a glut of people wanting every job over there as opposed to in Australia. And so that made me look at it, the lens from the Power Platform. And what I found, the highest salaried people in the Power Platform, guess what country they're in? For whatever the role. Singapore.
Wow.
And one of the reasons is, I think they've got a flat tax rate of 8%, so massively low. The next best country, Australia.
Wow.
New Zealand, very bad. You get paid very low, more like the UK. But it's interesting, Australia, you get good income, good salaries there, comparable in the market. So interesting to note that. But I was watching something this week where I've got this hyper focus at the moment in the latter half of this year that I'm focusing on, which is the need for understanding what skills that we should be acquiring to set us up for the future that we're all moving into quite rapidly. And, one of the skills I'd never thought of is your ability to have part of your team be AI.
Yeah. So it's being able to observe that layer of like independent digital minions.
Yeah. And so your colleagues going forward, there's going to be a bunch of what we could classify as your colleagues that are going to be dedicated agents, which are going to be critical in your team. I noticed in Build recently, one of the things they've done around Entra ID is that they are allocating every agent an Entra ID. Like they're getting same credential type access as though they are people. And I think they need to do it, Microsoft, because that's the way they're ultimately going to account for revenue, right? But
dude, it is.
I think it's also from a consumer perspective. You need to have the same monitoring for agents as for human colleagues.
Yeah. Agreed. Security is definitely a big part of it. But just back to this video I watched, 5 skills that you need to develop for the future. Number 1 skill, AI augmenter.
Yeah.
So whatever your job, you've got to be thinking, how can I augment AI into what I am doing?
You should be doing that now.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I reckon in all the conversations we're having, people aren't. They're not using AI maybe every couple of days, not every day. Are they asking that question, how could AI make me smarter here? How could AI assist me in doing what I'm doing?
And even in initiatives that are happening right now, I am still seeing some where I'm like, okay, and what's your AI ambition? And they're like, oh, it's out of scope for this particular workshop. We're talking about data here. We're trying to I'm like, exactly. We are talking about data here.
I was just talking to my niece by marriage on the weekend in Australia. She works for one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world. And she is about to become a country manager. So she's quite high up, right, representing this pharmaceutical brand. And I said, hey, so how are you using AI? Oh, no, it's been blocked. No one's allowed to touch it. No one's allowed to touch anything. It's been blocked. No type of AI is allowed in the organization. Or why? Oh, because we've got an antiquated IT department and they've just said no. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to be so far behind by, your competitors will all be using it and you guys are just saying, no. I'm just like, that's crazy. And I don't think she's an outlier.
Bro, the thing is, I have these conversations with people all the time, and sadly, there are people that think that this is a phase and it's just going to pass. And I'm like, crack on, my friends. I'm past the point of trying to sell this.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like trying to explain spell check to someone.
Yes.
I'm like, it's happening. Dude, just if you don't do it, fine, have terribly written documents. That's cool. Same with AI. So if you don't do it, good luck with your business in the next 2 years, because what I can tell you, this is going to be like...
I think that's something you do really well, Chris, is actually using it, in the day-to-day work.
Oh, yeah.
Every single meeting will have some form of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And every time you do it, it looks so seamless that I remember when Mark first said, maybe 2 Dynamics Minds ago, in a panel, you said, Mark, AI will be like electricity. We just turn on our lights and nobody thinks about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel like Chris is really doing that in actual workshops that we do together and meetings and everywhere. It's like he just used Excel or PowerPoint, or he turned on the light. Same thing.
And look at the results, right? They're phenomenal results, particularly when there's a good data set behind things, right?
Oh, dude, give me right now, I'm busy doing a POC for a utilities org, and I'm mad. I'll tell you why I'm mad. Because the data structure that I have is 17 million records. I can't just fling that into a GPT and say, rationalize this. No. I'm mad. I'm like, this should be so easy. Why can't I do that? So I've found ways to do it, right? Obviously with Power BI and Fabric and everything. But I'm angry because I know I can do this quicker than I am.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Azure DevOps thing. Getting all of the records out of Azure DevOps and rationalizing that without having a million meetings.
Yeah.
It makes sense. In my brain, it just makes sense.
Do you know what? For tech folks that are listening, I think that you need to become gurus at applying RAG in any situation. How can I get my data into that state that it's fully vectorized, tokenized, etc., that I can use a massive data set at scale and being able to know which RAG tool am I going to use to be able to drive the outcomes that I need. Because as you said, Chris, when you're dealing with those, you can't just, upload a file and say, let's go, right? Because the context window is going to lose so much if it isn't vectorized properly and usable in a structure that, can really drive value on that data.
But that makes me mad. I get angry because I'm like, I should be able to do this way easier. Let me give you the example. So the use case here was, here is a shitload of data. Tell us what we don't know. So I love that. I love that type of stuff. I'm like, okay, I will demystify the hell out of this and find the things that you don't understand. So that's a treasure trove to me. Data is a treasure trove. I love it. So I'm like, cool. And looking at this, I'm like, I should just be able to upload. Why can't I do that? Why can I not just upload this? Because you can't take 1,000 records from 17 million.
Yeah.
Because that's not a good enough subset. That's not how it works.
No.
Yeah.
To me, simply the thing that you are thinking, I should be able to do this faster.
Yeah.
Even that is a mindset change. Because before, like, think about the simplest form of, I don't know, uploading data in a Power Platform world. Yeah, we all come from that, like whatever. That's an Excel spreadsheet that you upload into your model-driven app, let's just say. If that doesn't work, you're like, okay, so this just doesn't work. I'm going to have to work harder to split it into smaller files, to get a better query, to clean it up. But I never, ever thought this should work better.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a me problem. There is a tool out there that's going to help me fix this.
Do you know what's not a me problem as well? That we're so deep in the marketing is agents. I don't think agents is anywhere near easy enough that the marketing sells it is, or anything close to agentic.
Dude, it's not remotely agentic. Like, this is why Donna and I like it's sparkling automation, because at very best, and we got the German people to do this as well, by the way, sparkling automation. So at the very best, if you break down what an agent is, right? Like, there's action, there's orchestration, there's memory, there's all sorts of things. Of the things that make an agent, we don't have half of them. We don't have orchestration. Like, there's no planning. Like I've said this in this podcast before. There's no planning.
Yeah.
In memory, there is no like actual memory in an agent. Like this doesn't exist. So why are we calling it agents anyway? This is going to put me in a soapbox. So I'm going to try and like not do that. But like,
yeah, try not to. Like, we have enough people ranting.
No, I'm not going to rant. I'm just going to say what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this out there for the 5th time. Show me an agent live. I put this out there to the world, to Microsoft, to partners.
Yeah.
Like, you all are saying that you are making agents, especially masses, multi-agent systems.
Yeah.
Show me. Like, show me how to do it, because I've tried and I've succeeded to an extent, but I want to see it working.
But there's so much work to make it a reality. And I'm just like, hey, it's meant to make my life simpler, not make me have to learn 50 new things to make it work. So I'm with you. But hey, we're at time just about. I just want to wrap with, I feel that red teaming is not getting the, I don't know whether I'm ahead of the curve thinking companies need to be paying much more attention to this. I feel like it's considered an edge thing, and a lot of companies that are doing stuff in AI are not even considering the role of a red team in the organization, let alone having methodologies, software tools, repeatability, trained staff to do this. What do we think? What are you guys' thoughts? I know you got opinions.
From my perspective, after for the past 2 weeks, I've been doing some research, field research, meeting people who have recently either changed their jobs or are about to change their jobs, or they're unhappy about the jobs. And as you know, I've been working with Transylvania University as well, because we're working with them for Brasov Forum in the winter. So I went into quite a lot of details with regards to what disciplines are kids being taught in university, what sort of jobs people do, and when you want to go and do a new job, what sort of things do you need? And this is all granted based in my hometown, Brasov, Romania. Over there, people are what we call pro code. All of them are writing stuff from scratch. And I know we've been talking about Power Platform a lot and how you can upskill towards AI from Power Platform, but we also know the sort of stuff that AI takes away from you as a Power Platform person, because it just builds it on its own.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to programming and how these people are taught, build careers, and deliver stuff, they are finding right now that when it comes to progressing in your career or wanting to get a new job, you no longer have to be an engineer, back-end engineer, or front-end or full stack. No. Right now, you're full stack, you're also DevOps, you know cybersecurity, you know cloud, you know everything. Because these organizations have found ways to do tasks that otherwise you would have done, right,
Yeah.
with artificial intelligence. So bringing it back to what you were saying earlier, Mark, and you were like, oh, these are the skills that people should learn. That's how you, recalibrate for a world of AI. I think, and I would love it, not right now, but maybe in a future episode, if we could go deeper into, okay, fine, you have these skills, but how do you actually start? Because you come from a different discipline. You may come from pro code, or you may be a business analyst, or you may be a PM, or like whatever you do, where do you actually start? And, for red teaming in particular, because that was my interest, when talking to these people, like how will professional developers be used in red teaming? And I think they're going to be used plenty. I think that there's like a whole new job market for them, especially with vibe coding, all of these people who know, how code is written and how it should behave. But also, there is, more generally, I guess, there is a course on red teaming that our friend Ioana compiled. I'm happy to kind of share my screen for just 1 second to kind of show you it. This is it. It's got like 10 episodes and it's free, right? So it's just on YouTube. And go ahead and check it out if you want, I don't know, like a head start, like a where to start type of situation.
I like it.
I feel very passionately about this, and I'll tell you why. I'm in an interesting debate with some fool called Paul Swider on Twitter.
I saw that.
Yeah, he's a moron. Anyway, it's getting interesting because it's heated up a little bit, where I think that red teaming is not necessarily what we think it is. I think that it's very much more psychological, like way more psychological. I think this is going to create a whole void of things that need to be done in the AI verse. And I feel like, do you remember that one time in the very beginning, I was like, okay, I reckon we're going to need lawyers, right? I think we're going to need lawyers because of this. Now I'm saying I think we're going to need therapists. And I'll tell you why. I think that the people doing the red teaming in certain aspects are going to be so brutally challenged at the end of it because of all the shit that people put into LLMs and all the terrible prompts people put in. And I can tell you, I've seen some of them. It's like, it's awful. Like, it's honestly awful.
And you're not talking, just let's clarify here, you're not talking about, oh, that's a weirdly formed prompt. You're talking about people doing gross things.
Dude, it's more than gross. It's actually appalling.
Yeah.
Like, what people are typing in and other people are having to review is utterly appalling. And it's like, I'm not even gonna mention it. It's just gross. No. Like, it's disgusting. And people are having to read that on the other end, right? And they're having to read that and apply responsible AI filters. So what's happening is that, imagine you spend your entire day reading these awful things that people are putting into prompt windows. Dude, like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that for a living. I could not physically, because I'm very sensitive to bullying and that type of shit. So when people are putting that type of stuff in, I hate it. Like, I think it's gross. I get angry.
Yeah.
And I think that red teaming is going to be one of the most challenging areas in AI to come. And I think that we're going to need help. We're going to need psychologists and therapists and things to brain shower all the crap that comes into our heads.
100%. 100%. And there's different layers to this. You know, I've had some very interesting conversations with people on the red team inside Microsoft, and they have had to stipulate their no-go areas.
Yes.
I don't want to be involved in any racism-based red teaming. I don't want to be involved in child or kiddie or anything. Like, that's not me. Like, they're very clear what they're out of. And homophobia, the list goes on, right? There's whole categories, and they have to opt out like what they're not comfortable with doing because they know psychologically it will be detrimental. It reminds me a bit of the police force. I had a friend of mine become a cop, and I noticed he was a good friend. His personality changed the longer he was in the police force. He liked people less and less because he saw the scum of society, and he just became a very cold person,
Yeah.
And then I also remember having a friend who was a police photographer. So she went in and photographed crime scenes.
Can't do that.
And she had to quit because it was just, she was getting to the point that she couldn't sleep anymore at night and stuff because of the gruesomeness that she had seen humans do to humans.
Dude,
and unfortunately, that's the world we live in.
I have a friend who worked in an ICU department at a very prestigious hospital in London, and she also had to quit for the exact same reason, because when you're there, you're saving people who have had stuff done to them by other humans.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
Yeah. Crazy.
People are awful. Like, can I tell you something, like, to wrap this up? Okay. So do you know, like, I can't even watch horror movies or like brutal. I can't watch Game of Thrones and crap like that. I can't watch it. Like, I can't, dude. It makes me so physically angry.
I'll watch it with you.
No, I won't, dude. I won't do it. I had this conversation with someone the other day.
And that's why
there's
like, people at different things trigger them and different things don't, right?
Yeah, I can't watch it, dude. Like, I get so physically mad. And I'm like, there's enough blood and guts and gross stuff in this world already. Like, I don't need more of it in my life. So for me personally,
I get that.
And this is why I get so sensitive to when people talk about red teaming. I'm like, I've seen it, dude. I've seen the things that people type in.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's fucking awful. Like, people are gross. Like, I genuinely think that people are revolting in that sense where, well, a lot of people, where they think it's okay to like research that type of stuff or do that type of thing. So that's why I get sensitive to it. And that's why I tell others, I'm like, don't think this is a joke. Like, this is really, really going to affect us.
Yeah. Okay. I want to wrap on a higher note than that serious topic. And so I want to share this with you. And this is a book I read some time ago. So not recently. There it is on my Kindle, which is called Range. And it says, Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World. I think that because AI is going to give us such depth of specialty, just like Anna, you said before, the developer needs to know DevOps. They need to know architecture. They need to know, like, I think that our skill set, and for years I talked about, I've come from a consulting background of where we were taught the T consultant. You should be knowledgeable, an inch deep and a mile wide, but you need to be strong in really one depth, technical depth in one area. I think we actually, the next world that we're moving into is going to the generalists, that you have a wide range of knowledge around a whole range of things and know how to bring speciality into specific areas. And so, I think that the generalists might be where things are at in the future. And so something to mix up.
It. And I just bought it, because I think that it's on Audible, because I have a 3-year-old and no time. But I guess that my recommendation is that whenever Mark recommends a book and you feel like, oh my God, it's like 1,000 pages, I'm never going to go through it, just buy it on Audible. Yeah. It's just like, it's still very good.
So this is what Bill Gates says about this book. He's actually quoted it. Fascinating. If you're a generalist who have felt overshadowed by your specialist colleagues, this book is for you, Bill Gates.
Wow.
So it's got some, it was actually a Microsoft stew person, somebody in the stew that I was on a call with, and he brought it up, and it's caught my ear about a year and a half ago in a Microsoft internal call. And I was like, I got it and I read it, and I'm just like, I sent it to my son who just started university, because that he doesn't have to think that he has to just become a super knowledgeable lawyer only, that he can go and explore, because it really encourages you to explore other parts of your life, not just go deep on one thing.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's a good listen. Anyhow, guys, I think we're at well over time. Thank you. It's been fun.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Rock and roll.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning into the Ecosystem Show. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and thought-provoking. And maybe you had a laugh or two. Remember, your feedback and challenges help us all grow. So don't hesitate to share your perspective. Stay connected with us for more innovative ideas and strategies to enhance your software estate. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries and creating value. See you on the next episode.
Are you ready to accelerate your career in the Microsoft ecosystem? The 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, created by Mark Smith, is your opportunity to create a personalized pathway to success. Join over 1,200 alumni from more than 70 countries who have achieved remarkable results, from promotions to new job opportunities. Take it from Nathan, who said, "Since completing the 90-Day Mentoring Challenge, I've become an MVP in business applications and doubled my income." Or from Parves, who shares, "I've never felt as inspired or energized about my career as I do now." Sign up at arcor.nz365guide.com. You can find the link in the show notes. And if you use the code podcast, you'll get 10% off.